The Night Before, 2015. The tradition that tried to outrun grief. Christmas and the night before is not a holiday at all. It is a ritual designed to freeze time. It is a yearly agreement to pretend loss can be managed by repetition. It is the ego's favorite spell. If it stays the same, it didn't really change. Ethan's story begins with sudden death, and everything afterward is an attempt to build permanence on top of impermanence. The annual reunion becomes a shrine, not a celebration. And the shrine demands loyalty, because the ego calls loyalty love when it is really fear. The film is raunchy because the ego is raunchy. It is messy because denial is messy. It is funny because the ego's strategies are absurd when exposed to light. Three friends walk into Christmas night believing they are chasing tradition. But what is actually being chased is anesthesia. This is avoidance with tinsel on it. The deeper plot is not the party. The deeper plot is the mind trying to stay asleep while calling it coping. Ethan is grief wearing a human face. Not grief as a feeling, but grief as an identity. The terror is not loneliness. The terror is that a new life might reveal the old life was never secure. Commitment to Diana threatens the altar of the boys, because the ego confuses joining with betrayal. Meeting her parents feels like treason, because the ego believes love is a limited resource. So the mind offers a bargain. Keep the tradition, keep the identity. This is why the film keeps returning to the same pulse. If the ritual ends, what is Ethan? That question sits underneath every joke. Isaac is the good guy mask with panic underneath. He is trying to be excited about fatherhood while privately bargaining with fear. He loves his wife and still feels trapped by change. That contradiction is the human condition, and the ego survives by forcing silence around it. So Betsy hands Isaac a care package of drugs, not because she is blind, because she sees. She knows the truth is there, stalled behind performance, and she is afraid too. That admission is the film's cleanest spiritual moment. It reveals that confidence can be theater and cheerleading can be camouflage. The drugs do not create honesty. They suspend the ego long enough for honesty to leak through. That is why Isaac can confess fear while high, but cannot confess fear while sober. The ego will say, "Keep the image," even if it costs intimacy. So a video becomes the middleman for truth. A recording carries what the mouth cannot carry. And Betsy's laughter is not dismissal. It is recognition without punishment. Because love does not need drama to accept truth. Chris is image management turned into a life plan. Fame is the substitute for belonging. Steroids are the sacrament of not enough. He is not trying to become great. He is trying to outrun ordinariness, because the ego equates ordinariness with death. His avoidance of his mother is not hatred. It is exposure anxiety. A mother sees through performance, and being seen threatens the false self. Chris also carries the guilt of switching tribes. If loyalty is transferred to the football circle, what does that imply about the friends who held him through history? The ego's math is brutal. To gain here means to lose there. So every expansion feels like betrayal. This is why the movie's friendships wobble. Not because love is weak, because specialness is unstable. Mr. Green is the film's shadow guide. He is not a moral voice. He is not a rescuer. He is consequence with a grin. He meets each man one-on-one, like a therapist who does not interpret, only reveals. With Chris, he exposes the hunger to belong through performance. With Isaac, he exposes the fear of change hiding inside fun. With Ethan, he exposes the shrine itself. When Mr. Green says, Tell Ethan I'll see him in a couple of hours. The line lands like prophecy. It implies Ethan's turn is scheduled. It implies the night is not random. It implies the ego's defenses will be addressed in an order, because the deepest defense is saved for last. The masquerade ball functions as the movie's metaphysical symbol, a secret temple of salvation. Masks on faces, mystery as holiness, access as meaning. It is the ego's promise that the answer exists somewhere else. Ethan stealing tickets becomes the perfect portrait of misplaced salvation. If entry is gained, peace will be granted. But the ball is just another room in the dream. The dream cannot wake itself up by changing locations. This is why the eyes wide shut echo makes sense. Not because of plot similarities, but because both stories expose a mind seeking redemption through initiation. The ego loves the idea that truth is hidden behind doors. A Course in Miracles says the opposite. Truth is not hidden. Truth is simple. Truth is already. The entire film is the ego trying to maintain identity through ritual, chemicals, and image. And the miracle is that it fails. Not in punishment, in liberation. The friendship does not end because mistakes happen. The friendship evolves because clinging hurts more than letting go. What looks like the end of tradition becomes the expansion of family. A baby arrives, and the old ritual becomes a new song. Not because anything was fixed, because nothing was ever broken. That is the holy joke. The ego spends the night panicking about loss, while love quietly multiplies in the background. This is the film's final correction. Change is not the enemy. Fear of change is the enemy. And fear is not a fact. Fear is an interpretation the mind can withdraw. A Course in Miracles frames it cleanly. What is not love is not real. So the night's excess becomes a spotlight. The hangover becomes evidence. The masks become heavy. And in the cracks, something honest appears. Not self-improvement, not moral reform. Just truth, finally spoken without negotiation. Christmas does not save these men. Honesty does. And when honesty is allowed, love does what it has always done. It gathers, it includes, it continues, without needing the past to stay frozen to prove it was real.